The problem where you need to like change from bike chain to a belt drive, or you need to have a radical gear change, like step up or step down gear, or you just need a jack shaft that allows you to run 2 or 3 belts and pulleys or chains at once. And so this is like a mock-up of how to make that very cheaply. It's a standard European bottom bracket hub shell with a normal European bottom bracket in it off a cheap bike, which you can get for free. And the trick is that the spindle on a regular 3-piece crankset is of such a size that a 1/2-inch drive socket slips right onto it, and that's how you can use it to transmit power. And then the 1/2-inch drive sockets are nice because you can use the inside size of the socket or the outside diameter to add a shaft or a piece of tubing or something on which you mount whatever you're.
So you can put any size. You put any size socket on there.
Any size you want.
What do you have on there now? 3/4?
This one
7/8?
is 11/16, and this one is whatever size. I think it's 5/8, but it's whatever size slipped into a piece of steel hub shell that I sliced off. So I sliced off the steel hub shell in order to get the weird threads that accept a regular freewheel, and then after I sliced it off, I just tried sockets till one slipped in. And then you don't need a lathe because you don't need to center it, because it's perfect. As you can see, it's perfectly centered, because even though these 1/2-inch drive sockets are super cheap, they're centered. Everything comes out centered.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
so you're slipping the drive side onto the, or is it the nut side
The drive?
of the socket?
Oh,
That's
The
square
drive, the
side
1/2-inch,
socket is
yeah, the square,
side,
Yeah.
and then the
square
other
taper.
side you can put a shaft in, or you
Yeah.
can slip a tube over.
Got it.
And then the last detail is that if you want to lock the socket onto the spindle, you use a crank bolt. But the standard crank bolts are usually too short, but it turns out they're just standard 8mm by maybe 1.5, 1.25. And that's also the front axle off a cheap bike, an 8mm front axle. So you can take the front axle, cut it, and make your own bolts. So you
or
don't have
use
to go to the
axle
hardware
bolts.
store. What?
Yeah. Or axle bolts.
Yeah, what I do is cut the axle to make the bolt and the threaded part, and then I just weld a nut. I weld
yeah,
like
yeah,
a,
yeah.
you know, what.
And it
axle
doesn't
nut.
have to be centered because it doesn't matter.
Smart. And
You've
what is
already got
the purpose of this
Yeah, that
tool
doesn't matter.
is
This
to just have a universal, just to like a plug-in drive.
Yeah, let's say you wanted to take a bicycle, and you build it, turn it into like an exercycle, and then you could weld this on the front, and the chain from the bicycle could go forward and drive this side, and you could put a derailleur so you'd have gears on this side, and then on this side you could put a V-belt to run your grain grinder, or to run your
Or a direct shaft or whatever.
Perfect.
yeah,
whatever you want.
shaft, or yeah, you could put a generator, and it gives you the option of, you know, like what I'm going to actually use this one for is I'm going to put paddles on it and make a blower out of this side.
Excellent.
It'll be chain drive on one side, blower on the other side, and the derailleur will be geared so you get all the gears except one, and that one will be used to drive something else, actually.
And what about welding to that chrome surface? Is that an issue?
Not
That
an
worked
issue.
out okay.
Just
Regular MIG.
Yeah, just take the bench grinder and scuff it up, and then MIG
Cool.
it with a regular. This was regular MIG,
Excellent.
but